The word was already there, centuries before 1898. Puerto Rico. Not in English, in Spanish. For example, on January the 20th, 1585. And then, in 1661, a document referencing the visit of the Bishop of Puerto Rico to Coamo. This is not an American invention. It is a cartographic habit. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Chronicles and Cocktails. I'm Josue, the spirited historian. Now, let's dive into the second part of the evolution of our name, from Boriken to Puerto Rico. On last episode, we went through the names of the island from the Caribe to Cristobal Colon to the kings and the variations of it. But we are not done. There are still names to come. And there's a few changes after 1898. But it's not really the one that you think. I mean, the name is, but not the history of it. Around the 1890s, the name Puerto Rico is starting to be debated. But when you dig into history, you find that it was not the Americans who changed the name. This name had been in existence for over 300 years, since the 1500s. So we talked about the different variations, right? And then we have some abbreviations from, let's say, P.O.Rico, P. Rico, and we have Puerto Rico all together like one word, and then we have Puerto Rico with a hyphen. Nobody panicked. Nobody debated identity. It was spelling. That's it. And that's what it was before the end of the 1800s. In 1890, President Benjamin Harrison creates the U.S. Board on Geographic Names. Their principle? Adopt the spelling of the pronunciation used by locals, and then they reviewed Puerto Rico. They rejected Puerto Rico. This is before 1898. Remember that. Then, sovereignty changes. Treaty of Paris, Puerto Rico. Foraker Act, Puerto Rico. Jones Act, Puerto Rico. Not because Americans invented it, but because it was already in circulation. Robert T. Hill argues for it in National Geographic. The debate reignites. A newspaper in Chicago argues that, yes, it should be named Puerto Rico because it's easier to pronounce for Americans. And to understand all these variations, we have to go back in history. And this is the purpose of this episode. The name of this island has been changing since the beginning. So yes, it's been changing. And is it still changing? So for today's episode, we are using 2 ounces of brandy, 1 teaspoon of honey, 2 or 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, and a lemon peel. Stirred in ice and served over a large cube. I didn't want a flashy cocktail for this episode. No smoke, no color, no change in gimmicks, no tropical fruit. Because this story isn't loud, it's layered. So I built something simple: brandy, honey, bitters, lemon. That's it. And that's the point. Brandy is old world. It predates the arguments. It predates Congress. It predates 1898. It carries wood, time, and patience in it. Just like the early maps of Juan de la Cosa and Wolsey Muller carried Borinquen across the Atlantic. Honey is softer. It represents origin, oral tradition. Borinquen before it was written down by Europeans. Sweet but not sugary, natural, indigenous. Then come the bitters. Bitters are documentation, law, corrections in the margins, royal decrees, joint Senate resolutions. The legal sharpness of that turned Puerto Rico in 1932. Without bitterness, it's just sweet nostalgia. With it, it becomes structured history. And the lemon peel? That's the edit. Lemon cuts, it clarifies, it tightens everything. Just like the episode cuts through the myth that Americans invented Puerto Rico. They didn't. They codified it. They used it. But the variation existed centuries earlier. This cocktail is the same spirit throughout, depending on how much honey you add, how much dashes of bitters, how aggressively you express the lemon. It changes, exactly like the name of the island. Borinquen, Borinquen, San Juan Bautista, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. Same island, different expressions. That's why I created this drink for this episode, not to impress, but to reflect. Because sometimes the most honest cocktail is the one that doesn't pretend to be something new. It just reveals what was already there. Salud. So here we are going to see another change. And it's evident that it didn't stop in the beginning of the 20th century. A new position was created, the resident commissioner. And the resident commissioner is the representative of Puerto Rico in the United States Congress. And a man by the name of Felix Cordova Davila, in December 18, 1931, introduces a bill, a joint resolution, to finally and officially change the name from Puerto Rico to Puerto Rico. And Jose Pesquera supports this. So Senate Joint Resolution number 144 gets approved without debate in 1932, after the whole ordeal had gone on. Of course, there were debates before that, but it got approved in May 1932. The U.S. Congress makes official the name Puerto Rico. After 4 centuries of different names by different people, the Caribes, Cristóbal Colón, Rey Fernando, and so many other historians, cartographers, and writers, we finally have an official name, Puerto Rico. And later, in 1952, Puerto Rico approves the Constitution of the Estado Libre Asociado. Literally translated to English, it means free associated state. But in English, the term that it's used is Commonwealth within the United States. Puerto Rico is still a U.S. territory, but a political relationship of self-governance and some autonomy within the United States. The Constitution, and I'm going to read the quote, Nosotros, el pueblo de Puerto Rico, a fin de organizarnos políticamente sobre una base plenamente democrática, promover el bienestar general y asegurar para nosotros y nuestra posteridad el goce cabal de los derechos humanos, puesta nuestra confianza en Dios Todopoderoso, ordenamos y establecemos esta Constitución para el Estado Libre Asociado que en el ejercicio de nuestro derecho natural ahora creamos dentro de nuestra unión con los Estados Unidos de América. And it says, el pueblo de Puerto Rico, the people of Puerto Rico. Thus, the Puerto Ricans ratifying what Congress had already made official and putting it in the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. So now, Puerto Rico became to be, since the Foraker Act, the name of all the islands belonging to Puerto Rico. So you have the main island, then you have Culebra, Vieques, Mona, Monito, and all these other little islands around it. And that is the official name of the whole archipelago. The historical record demonstrates one consistent truth. The name of the island has never been static. It has always been contested, adapted, translated, abbreviated, and reimagined. From Boriquen to Borinquen, from Isla de San Juan Bautista to Puerto Rico, from Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico to Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. Names evolve according to power, according to usage, according to the people who repeat them. And now, in recent years, a new contraction appears. And will this be the beginning of a new name change? What is that contraction, you ask? PR. And that, my distinguished viewers, is the end of a two-part series about the history of the names of this island, the evolution, the changes, who changed them, and why was it debated? Was it mostly debated outside of Puerto Rico than inside? Did people inside care about the spelling of it? Did they really know the name of this island? The answers for those questions I don't have, because I searched, but I didn't find articles about the arguments of the name of this island inside. Back then, what the king said, it went. And after 1898, what Congress says, it goes. That's just the way of it. Now, repetition leads to reality. And we find ourselves repeating a lot. PR. What do you think? Comments below. Hit like, subscribe, hit the bell button. That way you know when new episodes are coming out. Thank you for watching. Have a great Wednesday. Have fun, get smart, study a lot, read, and research. Salud.